We're live.
Hi, my name is Michelle Moroz.
I'm Brian Swanson
We are Denim and Pearls. We're business casual
with Pearls of Wisdom.
from the porch.
So, today, what are we talking about?
Gotta get a foot loose.
Well, that was a little unenergetic. Okay, try this.
Everybody talk, everybody talk, everybody talk.
Well, hopefully y'all picked up on that sound.
Everybody foot loose. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I forgot the words.
Oh, that's not what it sounded like.
Everybody cut, everybody cut. Right?
So, anyhow, where were we this last week?
We were footloose and fancy free.
Footloose and fancy free.
Or as I vacation, all I ever wanted. Yes.
Yes, we did it all this week.
Yes, we did. And what got us thinking was, wow, what a regenerative, energizing thing to experience. Brian and I are go kind of people. We're always moving. We're always doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And to detach and go on a cruise with our spouses, we're like, okay, we've got to do it because we haven't done this in a long, long time. We should go and just get away. We'll still have internet. We'll still have whatever. Well, we get to the cruise and no internet. I mean, we barely could get text.
There was
not enough to do anything like say hi to all of you or check email or get on Facebook or
it was horrible.
Any of that. No, it was great because we were able to foot loose, fancy free, and let it go. Because I always say that was that three types of control in this world. There's mine, there's the other person's, and there's God's. Right?
Yeah.
Well, on the cruise. Sir Richard Branson was basically in control of the internet. We could buy in to get internet so we could reach the world, or we could just succumb to the fact that we really didn't need it that bad. We were only gone for 5 days, and so we detached without internet. And
well, I really and truly, what could have worked better rather than carrying our phones around, and I never thought about that till just now. We should have took those little mobile radios.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of them too.
And just talk. Hey, it's time for dinner. You going? And forget about, because that was the only reason why we used our phone, is because it was the only thing that worked was text messaging back and forth, so that when we scheduled different things, because we were on different
floors
of the boat,
the cruise boat is huge, and so we would coordinate. Okay, meet at the elevators in the center elevator, floor 11 at 7:45 or whatever we would do, and that's how we were meeting. But yeah, a walkie-talkie would have been perfect.
Yeah, that's what they call them, walkie-talkies. But it was kind of nice not having. I mean, for the first 2 days, I was sitting there trying to figure out how I could get through and do this. And I
put my hand out the window and I put my one leg up.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, the other thing is too, it mainly restricted video. That was the big thing. Video and images. A lot of images.
Because we could see things on Facebook. The first pop-ups, you could see who posted, but then you couldn't.
You could read it, but you couldn't see what they were talking about.
And you couldn't go into the comments. You couldn't do anything. It's like, you know what? Let's just let go.
And then if you posted or tried to post, then it would time out on the internet and you wouldn't be able to it wouldn't actually post.
Or I would think it didn't post, and then we'd get on land and it was there.
It was there, yeah. So, but I really think what it was, this whole thing about Footloose, is it was good to get away. It was good to do something totally different, something that you really didn't have to think about the technology as much.
You mean out of our comfort zone?
Out of our comfort zone. I don't know. I don't know if I would call it out of the comfort zone.
Yes, because you kept trying to use your phone. Your comfort zone is this thing. And we had to leave this thing behind,
right?
Because that is our comfort zone. It's our, oh my gosh, the world is going to go on without me. I have to hold on to my phone so I know what's going on in the world. No, you didn't. It waited for us. It just kept going, and we caught up with it when we got back.
Yeah, I realized there was nothing really that important.
Yeah, and there's nothing you can actually control from out in the middle of the ocean. And the only thing I got on my phone that was, actually I posted on Facebook, was funny, is it kept saying, your purse was last seen in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean or whatever.
Oh, your tracker?
My tracker was coming in and out of signal. So footloose and fancy free. So
dance like there's nobody watching.
Have you done that lately?
No. Well, yeah.
Well, we have, but have you? It's a great way to reset because what we found is by being able to detach, we were able to talk about other stuff that we've wanted to do that you get locked in that day-to-day thing and we
Hmm.
forget what's happening. Oh yeah, we have goals, but yeah, well that one can wait. Oh, well that's not a priority. After sitting down and eating enormous amounts of food,
Hey, I
like
only gained 4 pounds, 5 pounds.
I gained 6. And so it's like,
Uh,
you know, what do we really want? What do we want next year? What do we want? And so now we're planning on, doing more cruises, just once a year, do a cruise in a
mhm.
different place. We would have never thought going on vacation together if we hadn't done that one thing.
Right. Well, it worked. It started out as being a really good thing, and everything came together, and we all got lined up, and we all got on the cruise, and et cetera, et cetera. And then some of the main reasons of why we were there exploded. Because it was because somebody didn't do what they were supposed to, didn't have the authority
Ah,
to
none of that
do,
business. Don't worry about that.
blah 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 blahs, right? But overall, I think
Godsend.
a godsend. For one, for relaxing, two, for just learning the fact that, oh wow, we can do something different, and it doesn't really, honestly, it didn't cost us all that much,
Yes, Arlene,
and
we
we
are
could
refreshed and
and we could do it
reset.
once a year.
Hmm.
Uh
And I learned something new as I was telling Brian. I'm a good singer. I know I am with my friends. I just learned with a whole gigantic group of strangers that there's a kitten somewhere in this house.
it's pan outside.
Oh my gosh.
The kitty cat's outside.
But what I learned is even in a room full of strangers, I did really well. And so that kind of excites me because, shameless plug, putting out a music album this year.
That was shameless.
That was shameless.
Okay, Garth Brooks.
So what are we doing? What are we doing? So with Footloose, what we're really here to do today is to tell you you need to take a vacation. I don't
Mhm.
care if you just take a day vacation. You just need to get away from what you normally do, your normal grind, and reflect, completely unplug. We were forced to unplug for 5 days, and it was kind of scary at the beginning, but really it was the best thing ever.
Yeah. Well, I think what brought this whole topic up to me was the fact that there was one individual that we didn't know, of course, and I'm sure nobody else on the boat knew except for her daughter, and she got a little inebriated.
Oh,
And
that's what brought this
and the
Footloose one up.
first the
Okay.
first thought of it is how embarrassing.
Oh, she was too
But
drunk to
the other
worry
thought
about
of
it.
it is, who cares?
Yeah.
It's your time. She looked like the kind of person who it was probably the first time she did something silly like that, and who knows how long.
Yeah, and she chose to do this.
And she
And
did.
what was amazing, and so here's my I have to bring it back a little bit. When you think cruise, what do you think? I think 70 to 80-year-old people playing shuffleboard, wearing white socks with sandals, and just kind of moving
Hey, I
around
did that.
slowly around. No, you wore black socks, worse. Um, and just kind of shuffling around a cruise ship, a boat, and being seasick. And or if when they said that it wasn't for old people, that there were younger people there having fun, I was thinking wild fraternity sorority party craziness, people running down the aisles.
I got on the wrong boat.
It wasn't that either. And so no, Arlene, we'll definitely invite you because
Oh,
that
it was
was
amazing.
the best experience. And shameless plug for the cruise line that we were on. Can
Mhm.
we say it?
I would.
Virgin Voyages. Holy crap.
Yep. If I could
Uh,
tag them in my vocals, I would tag them because
w-
they did an amazing job.
we might have to tag. Their staff was impeccable. Their everything we did, their attention to detail was so spot on. Even their rooms, everyone had a balcony. We didn't have to upgrade to get a window, a peephole in a wall,
Portal.
a portal. We didn't have to worry
Which is
about
what I was expecting, actually.
yeah, and we didn't have to worry about when the waves got high that we would be underwater in our room. We all had balconies and we were out there
Mhm.
enjoying the water all the time. And just their staff, my gosh.
Yeah.
um, wow, the food was amazing. And the biggest limitation for the whole thing was, hello Jonathan, biggest limitation for the whole thing is you can't order pizza after 1:45 a.m. the kitchen will reopen at 10. We're like, really? That's the one thing you told us we couldn't have? By golly, suddenly, I tell you, at 1:20 in the morning,
Mhm.
there were so many people trying to get pizza.
That has to be the busiest place on the boat.
Yeah, it was
It's
insane. But
everybody
they were
getting their
so
pizza.
fast. And so it didn't really matter. But we had a disco
Yep.
room, we had a gambling room, they had, oh, you name it, they had it. They had a room where you could get hot dogs and burgers and milkshakes and that's
And
the Six Fans.
and we did karaoke.
Karaoke every night in different parts of the cabin space out in the ocean. I mean, if you've never gone on a cruise, I wish we could get a bonus or something, and someone would give us money for this or give us a free cruise. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Mhm. Hey, Arlene brings up the fact of why pizza but sushi. They had sushi on there,
They had sushi, all sorts.
and
of
you could have it all day long. And I'll tell you what, after 2 days of loving and eating sushi, it's time for a pizza.
Yeah. Well, and
It's just like
honestly-
anything else; it gets old.
Well, as honestly, you're dancing and singing karaoke till 1 something in the morning. Sushi does not settle well with
No, the
vodka.
rice and vodka.
So where was pizza? It was. So that's the whole thing about this cruise was it opened doors to things I didn't even know existed on cruises. I've always had a nightmare version of cruising. When you see them on the news, oh, the cruise has been, capsized. They're sitting on the ocean and they've been out there without water. I mean, that's the last thing I remembered.
The first thing I think of is Love Boat.
The Love Boat.
My mom made me watch that every Friday night back in the 70s. I mean, it was one of those things we always watched it. So I'm looking for the next Fantasy Island. Those were my expectations, but I didn't find the Love Boat.
Well, Fantasy Island did make a new reboot, but
the new reboot's awesome. But
well, the thing is cruising is not what you think it is.
Yeah.
Even for those who cruise a lot, you need to check out Virgin, because a lot of the people we met on that cruise were like, holy smokes, we cruise all the time on all the different ones. This is the best one we've ever been on.
Yep.
So
it's pretty much all
Shameless
inclusive,
inclusive.
except for alcohol.
Yeah.
Everything else, But yeah, you got your shops. I mean, they got some really cool shops. I even bought a $40 belt. It was a little late in the season, but I bought a $40 belt.
But stopping on the different islands, I mean, we went to the Dominican and Dominican Republic and Bahamas, and I look forward to going back. But back to the thing of Footloose. When have you last detached?
Mm-hmm. Especially from that stupid thing.
From the rigmarole of everything you do every day. And I promise you, the world will keep going. You can jump back on when you come back. And so go do something for you, for your business, because you look at your business completely different. I rearranged what I'm doing when I came back because, wait a minute, that's not so important to me. This is what I'd rather have. So detaching helps you see your business from a new point of view.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a cruise. I mean, a cruise is an amazing thing to do, now that we can
As I said, they can go for an hour.
Yeah, but, whether it's going fishing or whether it's going to, a lot of people I know that hike.
The important thing is
to get away from
this.
Just the rat race.
Get away from the devices.
The rigmarole.
Mm-hmm.
And dance like nobody's watching.
Dance like nobody's
And it was really funny because I walked around the corner one afternoon, and here's this girl, and she's just going to town right in the middle, waiting on the elevator, and
dancing?
Then she stopped. I
Hammer
said, just
time.
keep going.
And there was
Don't let me interrupt.
There was so much joy. So much joy. Yes, Jonathan, oh my gosh, you got to do another one. I mean, maybe we'll announce when we do the Virgin one again, because holy smokes, that was fun.
But we want to go to a different one. We want to go to like Australia. What was the other one? Europe? Something like that. There's
New Zealand? No. It was somewhere north.
No.
Iceland? No.
Yeah, it was
Shoot.
somewhere. Virgin has actually 4 cruises.
Yeah, and they're in different parts of the world.
In different parts
So
of the world.
we will
gotta figure out
let
which
you
one we're
know,
gonna do next.
because see, Brian's wife is a redhead, very pale, and she turns bright red in the sun, of which we were in consistently for 5 days. So I have a nice golden tan. You have a good tan. My husband has a tan. She's red.
Yeah, for now. I got a little red on my shoulders, but that was being outside out. That was, the altitude. I mean, if you live in Colorado and you're outside for like 30 minutes bare skinned in the hot sun like it is today, you will be fried. 30 minutes and you're done. I was out all afternoon and got this little tinge of a,
It's
you know,
because we're
at sea level, literally.
it was lovely.
Uh-huh.
And oh wow, I was like contemplating, how do I move here? I mean, how do I get a place and never, how do I move on? No, not the countries. How do I live on the cruise ship?
There's people who do.
I know a few people who do, and I'm like, man, I might want to do that because you still come to port, you still do get internet. I mean, I could just schedule all my appointments
Right.
via Zoom when we hit land.
I mean, if you could actually even if you stayed on the same one, you could still see many different things.
We were on the front of one of the boats after we came back from snorkeling around a shipwreck, and I'm at the front. We're out the front of the boat, and I started singing, "Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me." Yeah,
Yeah,
it was difficult to come back.
it really was.
It really was, and we are in vacation mode. We are definitely all tanned and happy, and I encourage you to go find a way for you to go footloose. Detach from all of the rigmarole, the electronics, the TVs, everything that makes noise. And the only thing we had running is music. Now, I do have another uh, shameless plug.
What's that?
Go back up.
This one?
Mhm. Shameless plugs. They on the bottom. If you're listening, I will read it to you. If you're watching, read the bottom. The Unapologetic Speaker Camp that I hold in Colorado Springs is this August, August 9 through 11. If you want to be part of my VIP group, which comes onto my TV show, it's only 30 minutes. I promise you will be guided very well by me on the show. That is on the 12th.
Nice
So
dramatization.
if we would love to see you, we would love to see you. Brian will be there too at the Unapologetic Speaker Camp, August 9 through 11 in Colorado Springs. We have a room block. So if you do want in, go to my website. It's www.michellemoras.com, and a little pop-up should come up, a little purple box, and they'll say, are you ready to, enhance your story or whatever, Unapologetic Speaker Camp. Click that and it'll give you all the details. Yep, I think that's it. And then the other thing is another shameless plug.
How come they're all yours?
Because you don't have anything to shameless plug. Do you have
Oh.
shameless plugs?
No.
Well then. So then the other one is my newest book, a new anthology called Hold My Crown, Men of Grit Share Stories of Vulnerability, is coming out hopefully in September. So I plan on getting as many authors together by September and launch with how many authors I have. I will have a total of 20 authors in that book. And this man right here is one of them. And if you're interested in being
So if you
one
really
of the,
love me, follow me.
if you want to be one of the kings and hold my crown, Kings Edition, write me. Write a message here on Denim and Pearls or on my personal Facebook page, Michelle Moras, of course, and say, hey, I'm interested, send me details. Because those of you who are in my in my Hold My Crown Kings Edition, come to the Unapologetic Speaker Camp that I spoke about at the alumni prize. So basically, if you're telling your story in the book, I would really love to help you shape your story while you're writing it so that you can be able to present it in both ways really well. So
Okay, so I do have a shameless plug.
good, finally.
Yes, remember my book that I'm writing? Well, putting together. My adoption book. So if you were adopted, not ever been, like it happens more than once. If you've been adopted and you did the search for your parents, I want to know that story.
He is making an anthology book.
It's another anthology book.
And so he's gathering authors of adoption stories.
Yes, the stories. I mean, everybody, and I'm not looking for the stories of the good relationships, the bad relationships. I'm looking for the stories. Did you do the search? Did you find your parents? And
The hurdles you had to go through to get to find it.
Because I think we actually all share some of the same stories of the records were burned in a fire, or the records were destroyed in a flood. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard that, but I want to hear that and then how that relationship turned out, because some people's relationships didn't turn out so well when
And
they
some
found
of
their
them-
birth parents.
Some of them did.
And like mine, it did. It was awesome.
But we want to hear those stories of how you found them, or if you didn't find them, or how you attempted to find them, because there are other people out there who need to know what the possibilities are. And they are so full of fear of retaliation or whatever,
Mhm.
and they live that way for the rest of their lives. What Brian is doing is helping people tell their story so they can release that out of their lives.
Get it off their chest.
Yeah, and
as
move
they say.
forward and be able to share those kind of stories and say, yeah, I'm adopted. I
Right.
was chosen.
And then, exactly. And then also what that'll do is it'll help others who may be in the same situation, who are wanting to look for their parents.
As I said.
Wanting, but they just don't want to.
Who are afraid to.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe I repeated what you said, but hey,
You did
I got
in
it all
another
in my
way.
head exactly what I want to say.
And then the Kings edition is the Hold My Crown Kings is not about adoption. So I would send you to Brian if you had an adoption story.
Yep.
The Hold My Crown Kings vulnerability, resilience, and vulnerability is I'm looking for men who have stories where they can share that they've cried, they were scared, they fell down, they hit rock bottom, and they found their way up. 3,000 words. How many words are you looking for?
Right around that.
Okay.
Not about the same
So
thing.
3,000 words. So about 5 pages worth of writing.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's all doable. But Brian and I are here to help you, one, get over things that are in your head. Two, give back to society, really. Give back leave your mark in the world. Leave that little bit of you in the world and say, you know what? My kids, my grandchildren, and one day I'm going to be dead. Read this book.
Mhm.
This is what I'm about. How many of you out there have grandparents you're like, gosh, they passed and I don't know anything about them, or they have Alzheimer's and they don't remember who they are? That could be you one day. Get your story out so that your ancestors and they start your future can know who you are and what made you who you are.
So at the apocalypse, when there's no technology left, there will always be a book.
Or the audios, because I'm making audiobooks that Hold My Crown Kings. That's really, really it. It's footloose and fancy free. It's about living fully. And remember, you could be the best worker in the world, but you never take a break, you will crash. So you must take a break. Go be your footloose self. And that makes you more easier to get along relationship wise. I mean, I know my relationship with my husband, we had a great time on that boat, and I saw things about him that I didn't even know he would do. It just shocked the heck out of me. And we've known each other for 40 years. So when you take someone out of a stressful place of like work and making him detached too, like with your wife, Julie, her detached too, it was like you could see them doing, okay, things are going to hell where I work. Oh, wait, I don't have to worry about that. It'll work out. It was nice to see that tension leave his shoulders, really. So go out there, improve your relationships and your work and your job and the future of whatever you're creating by letting go for at least a day or two.
And
Dance like nobody's watching. Mm-hmm. Are we all good?
I think we're all good.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us live, and for those of you who are not live and you're going to be watching or listening virtually, make comments, share this live video, because people need to realize you got to be footloose and fancy free. Matter of fact, Lisa Sinnott just jumped on. We are going to be footloose and fancy free and singing at a networking event that she's created at the Buzzcrow Bistro in Colorado Springs on July 18th. It's a Tuesday night. So if you're in the Colorado area, come out to Colorado Springs, Buzzcrow Bistro. We are doing a networking and karaoke night, and it should be a lot of fun. Thank you, Lisa, for doing that. So
I just know I'm going to be there.
I'm so glad we had this time together because we're footloose.
And fancy free.
And fancy free. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Be the best version of you. Dance like nobody's watching. Peace.